Welcome back to It's Your Business with Tracy Ellis. Today I'm joined with a couple of my favorite companies when it comes to real estate. I've got the Foundation Doctor here and Josh Worrell from New Latitude Moving. How are you both doing?
Doing great. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm glad to have you guys here. So, Rick, when we left, we were talking about what people need to do to get ready for the fall and winter season in order to keep their basements dry. And being in real estate, I'm always shocked when I'm in a two-story home and I go upstairs and I look out a bedroom window and I see a gutter that's completely filled with leaves, because that tells me right away that water is probably just pouring over the top of that gutter, settling near the foundation, and eventually it will come in at some point. So leaks are a huge thing that people need to really be aware of.
That's true, Tracy. And a lot of the hydrostatic pressure problems that people end up getting, it just comes from something simple as a downspout.
Yeah.
It discharges a lot of water right there next to the house, and if they would keep those free and clear and get the water away from it, then they can eliminate that problem. And sometimes that ends up being a major problem.
Yeah, just getting the water away from the foundation is huge. And I know when buyers, I know a lot of sellers get aggravated when buyers will ask, I want you to bury the gutters and downspouts away from the foundation. They're like, I'm not doing that. But it's such a minimal cost. I mean, you could probably go and buy extensions for all around the perimeter of your home for less than $100. It's the labor that people don't like of digging and burying all of that to get it away from the foundation, but it will save you thousands over the lifetime of your basement.
Yeah, we do it every day, Tracy, and if in fact people do have drains that are gutters that go into a drain, make sure that those are free and clear. Yeah.
So that's something that you guys would come out and do for people, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Which is something that everyone should be thinking about, because when we get those heavy snows and we have all that melting and coming down, it's a great time before that happens and our ground starts getting too hard to bury and dig those, to maybe have the Foundation Doctor come out and let you know what they suggest you doing. I know something that happened with my husband and I. We went overboard because I see so much. I'm like, I want those buried and away, all the way out towards the street. Like, I don't want it dumping out anywhere near my house, which my husband was a trooper and dug all the way out and did it. But the only bad thing is when the ground froze, it wasn't deep enough. So then my sub pump, every time that would kick on, it burnt the motor out because it was just going and going because the ground was frozen. So the sub pump is something we all have to be very concerned about also. And what I would strongly suggest to people is checking in before wintertime comes on a battery backup for your sub pump.
Yeah, that actually getting more popular, and the battery backup system is a great investment. It's if in fact you should have a interruption in power, then you can rest assured then that the sump pump is going to continue to work.
So how do people avoid the freezing of the drain tile going all the way out to keep the water away from the foundation? Was it just not buried deep enough?
It just wasn't buried deep enough, yeah.
Yeah, so I should have called you guys and saved my husband all that time and work.
Yeah, a lot of people
My husband would have loved that.
Yeah, a lot of people think it's just got to be covered with dirt, but it's got to be deep enough.
I thought it was pretty deep, but evidently it was not deep enough. So that's something to think about when you're doing that. That's why it's better to have an expert come out, take care of it for you, then you know it's done right, and you no longer have to spend all your time doing that.
Yeah, and Tracy, our estimates are free, and we there is absolutely never any high-pressure sales on our end of it. So if you need advice or you need an estimate, please give us a call. We'll be glad to give it to you.
Yeah, I know. When I had to come out to my basement before we finished it, I had 14 cracks, which a lot of people are like, oh, my gosh. But it's really not. It's concrete's going to crack. It's just about what type of crack it is. And I thought, oh, who knows what they're going to tell me when they come out here, but I already kind of knew for myself what to anticipate after doing this so long. And you were like, no, I just think you need to repair two. Jason was very honest, and it's like, I don't think the most of them are just, superficial hairline cracks. You just need to do these two. And so that's what I love about you guys. You don't go overboard. You address the problem.
Yeah, and that's our reputation, is for honesty and dependability. And reliability. And one of the things that I would suggest is if a person does see a crack in the wall, is take a magic marker. It's a little trick, but just take a magic marker and mark across it. Keep an eye on it. If there's any movement, it gets any up or down movement, well, then you're going to see that in that mark. So every once in a while, I'll go down and take a look at it.
What about putting, I hear some people say put a coin in it, like put a penny, and then if it falls out, know it's moving.
Yeah, you'll know it's moving.
I've tried, trust me. I'm always trying to shove them in there.
That's a way to save money.
Yeah. And then a lot of people think, which I've even said this myself sometimes, so I'm guilty, I don't want them to come out and mess with it because then they're going to drill the crack bigger to epoxy it, and then that's going to cause water to come in. So what do you say about that?
No, if we're going to inject a crack, we inject the cracks, and it's warranted for life. So we put a 2-part polyurethane sealer in it and then put a epoxy over the surface. But once it's sealed, it's sealed.
Well, I think you guys do an amazing job. You have that newer product also that's the strongest steel. What is that called? That's
carbon fiber straps. If you have a building movement, you can put carbon fiber on it in lieu of the old wall anchors or steel I-beams.
Which are so horrible to look at.
It is horrible. It's invasive. And the new carbon fiber straps, once they're put on, you can paint right over them and you barely see them.
Yeah, that's just amazing. When I first saw those, I was like, wow, that just looks like a little bitty piece of metal. To think that is stronger than steel is amazing.
Yeah, incredibly strong. And actually, that's one of the manufacturers that will guarantee their product. If something were to happen to us, they'll warranty it for the rest of the life of the structure.
So that's a product that if you have structural issues in your basement, you definitely need to call the foundation doctor and check into, because that is so much more attractive to look at compared to walking down and seeing some huge anchor system in the wall that you could have to crank and churn every so many months. And I'm doing good to remember like a school event, much less cranking something in my basement.
Yeah, we're very proud of it, and we've had great success with it.
Yes, so a great product. The Foundation Doctor does an amazing job. Everything is free estimates, and they will go through, do suggestions for you, what you can do to avoid having issues in your basement. So call the Foundation Doctor at 636-282-4242. And what is your website?
Our website is www.thefondationdoctorstl.com.
And where are you located?
We're down in Arnold, but we're all over the place. So we're out at St. Albans. We'll work anywhere.
Service all areas, yes.
Right.
Just like real estate agents, we go everywhere. It doesn't matter where you're at. And again, I also have Josh Worrell here from New Latitude Moving, and I think you guys just do an amazing job. If someone is getting ready to interview moving companies, what tips would you suggest to them?
I would say they need to be fully insured and bonded. There's a lot of, you can go on Craigslist and people are always trying to save money when they're trying to move. And you can find these moving companies that are extremely cheap, but I would be very wary as, they're insured and professional. Guys get hurt at your house, they break your furniture, if they have no way of being covered, they can't help you. And then you're just, up a creek.
Yeah, trust me, I know.
Yeah.
I found out the hard way, and I could not believe, I just trusted instead of asking the questions, which is not usually something I would do. So definitely ask that. And again, I think it makes a huge difference because New Latitude Moving also does moving for commercial like Ethan Allen. And I think that has taught them the right way to be careful with people's furniture because I'm sure Ethan Allen would not be too thrilled if you were damaging their things all the time.
They're not. If something, we work very closely with them, and I think we have a very good relationship with them. And, they've been very happy with us thus far, but we have to be very careful with their furniture, and we're going to be very careful with our customers' furniture as well. And on cue with, the basements, just so people know, your basement is where you're going to spend the most money when you're moving.
Trust me.
Yeah. People tend to store all their furniture or all their things they accumulate over their lifetime in their storage in their basement. and that takes the most time to move out. It's just very messy down there, and that's where most of your money will be when you're trying to move.
You've been to my house several times, how much stuff I have in my basement.
Everybody's basement's like that.
Oh, my gosh. And we all think, oh, it's not going to